Entrepreneurs pursue opportunities beyond current controlled resources. They seek to solve issues in new ways. The skill of being an entrepreneur is critical for today's world. Most of our children, as we're told, will work in professions and change profession multiple times through their life, requiring them to be flexible, innovative, and entrepreneurial. We have so many issues today that our children can truly dedicate their lives to solve. But how do we cultivate that real entrepreneurial spirit? How do we encourage our children as parents to develop that critical and lifelong skill? There's an interesting character in our parsha called Noach, the hero of the story. But the Torah has to attest that Noach ish tzaddik, he was a righteous man. The Torah doesn't tell us about any of the other characters in Bereshit, whether they're righteous or not, because the stories that follow, the stories that ensue themselves indicate whether the person was righteous or not. Why did the Torah have to tell us this? The obvious reason is because it can't really be told from the text. But was Noah really a righteous person? Well, he must have been, because at that point in time, Hashem wanted to terminate existence, wipe out all creatures on the world, and start again with creation Mach 2. Noah was the choice of progenitor. He, his children, and his family would then start the world. But was he a real entrepreneur? There was a serious, fundamental problem with society. Society was flawed. There were a lot of problems. People didn't treat each other correctly. People were dishonest. Perversion of justice. Perversion of many of the natural laws being perpetrated by the humans of the time. Noah was a righteous person capable of influencing change. In fact, God told him, build the ark by yourself. You're not allowed to accept assistance, because he knew it would take him a long time. Build it out in the open, on the street, where people ask you questions. Tell them there's a God, he's going to be flooding the world and wiping it out. Thus you're building the ark, change your ways. And he did. But he just did according to the letter of the law. He did exactly what Hashem told him. In fact, Noah's righteousness required Hashem to hold him by his hand. He needed a parent, a loving parent in heaven, to guide him along the way. He didn't go beyond the letter of the law. He didn't show any true innovation or entrepreneurial spirit. Noah wasn't necessarily the ultimate entrepreneur. He did exactly what Hashem said, but he didn't do outreach. He didn't go out to be a social disruptor, to change the trends that are out there, to solve problems that society faced at the time in new and innovative ways. That's not until next week's Parsha, till Avraham comes on the scene. We'll talk about that next week. But what do we do as parents? When our children present us with social challenges, emotional challenges, academic challenges, problems, issues, frustrations, our natural instinct as parents is sometimes to swoop in and fix it for them. After all, we've got a few decades of wisdom on them. Been there, done that, let's solve it. We love them. But does that truly teach our children to be entrepreneurs? Does that give them the lifelong skill of innovative ways of solving problems? Rather than solving things for our kids, it often is useful to reframe with critical questions. Particularly if they have a challenge that's ongoing, a friendship issue that they keep on falling prey to, or some challenge that seems to just keep on rearing its head. You turn around and ask them, so tell me, what do you think we can do about that? How can you do things differently? If you did X, what do you think the result would be? Who can we seek advice from? Let's continue to talk about that after we tried a couple of opportunities and options, even if they didn't work. Because don't forget, failure is integral in being innovative and entrepreneurial and finding a solution. Often we as parents can give our children the gift of seeing the opportunity, capitalizing it, and not requiring us to hold their hand like Noah all along the way. Next week, we'll be introduced to Avraham. Avram was the ultimate entrepreneur. He didn't need hand-holding. He just needed Hashem to give him the right conditions, to give him a little bit of challenge for prompting, and he took that opportunity. Let's work hard on reframing the questions, reframing the challenge, and encouraging our children to develop those critical lifelong skills of looking at things differently, and whether it's in the microcosm of their world or in the macrocosm of society, being real entrepreneurs.